Hi guys, Scotty here with another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. Today we're going to be going over the latest Virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash, or Battlefield, if you want to call it that. So, just showing the mission rewards here quickly, which you can do. You're going to want to at least clear level 3, at least once. Can do it 3 times, I must admit I don't. I just make sure I get the first clear, grab my rewards and kind of duck out. But yeah, I'll take you guys through the teams that I build, how I like to build my stuff, my teams, and then we'll go from there. I'll show you a little run of each fight. I won't show you the entire thing, this video will get too long, but I'll just show you what team I use for and show you the screenshot of the team per phase we use. So I like to start off by selecting my free-to-play teams, just to have there for the beginning stages. So Ginyu, grab the whole Ginyu force, make sure they're easy aid. Grab Team Bardock as well, make sure they're easy aid. And one I don't show here, but you definitely want to grab as well, is you can get the full team of coolers. Get them as well on you. They're great for this as well, and they're just nice to have as extra teams we need to whip out here or there. They can clear level 1 for you pretty easily, so good to have them on there. Now what I like to do is, and this, I don't think this is currently the meta, or I'm not sure if other people like to do, I think a lot of people are doing category teams mainly, but I've just from ages ago I've learned to just do mono teams, and I just use the mono leads and build firstly a super class AGL, then a extreme class AGL team. Then I do a super class tech, extreme class tech, so on, so forth. And if you do that, you pretty much should have a team to go up against every single boss. They generally alternate them like that. So if you go up against a extreme tech unit, you're going to want a super int team, and so on and so forth. So if you go up against a extreme, let's say an extreme strength team, you're going to want a super AGL. If you go up against a super fire team, you're going to want an extreme STR team. So you're just trying to make sure that you have all the teams possible. That's why I said do an AGL super class, an AGL extreme class, then tech, super class, tech, extreme class. So you do really need to have a fleshed out box for this. Like, this is really not a new player friendly event. Now, one of the biggest things that I see a lot of people make a mistake with is when selecting your teams, they either just hit auto, or they just go through and they select their 2 mono leads and they just grab everything they can. Now what you can see me doing here is I am doing my super class AGL team, okay, but then I'm going into skill effect there as well, and I am choosing stun first, and I'm trying to grab at least 2 stunners per team. And then you'll see me also go into filter and then go to the left of stun, there's super attack ceiling, and I'm trying to grab 1 or 2 of those as well. Now what that's going to do is that's going to fill your team up with units that are firstly going to be powerful, because they're going to be a lot of extreme, they're going to be a lot of easy aid units that you have now, especially after all these years and everything. But the main thing that's going to do is it's going to give you units that stun on super, and units that super attack seal on super as well. So just make sure it's not set to passive at the top there. You need to make sure it's set to super attack and then stun or super attack seal. That is going to help so much, because all the bosses can pretty much either be stunned or either be sealed, and that's going to be so much easier when you get the stun, a 2-turn stun from someone, and now you can just do damage and finish off the fight. It really trivializes this once you realize that, and you start bringing stunning, and specifically stunning and super attack sealing units. It helps so much. So I'm not going to take you through the entire process of 100 different units. I built my whole team like that. I did a super and an extreme class per typing, and then I had just like 84, I think that took me up to like 84 or 90 units, and the rest I just tried to build 2 more just normal teams. Like I think I did successors and earth protecting heroes just in case, and that does help me right at the end where I kind of stuff it up with the final boss with Cooler, and I managed to use those teams to actually finish him off so that he's done. And yeah, so that's pretty much how you should do it. Let me jump into each stage and the teams I used for each stage. Just quickly before we get started, on the left there I've got most of the mono leads. I've tried to keep this list as up to date as possible and use as many 130% to give you guys some options. There doesn't really seem to be, unless I'm really missing it, I can't really seem to find anywhere online, the Dokkan Wiki is not up to date, of what the latest mono leads are. It's not really something anyone keeps track of anymore. People are way more going to use 220% leads and that over like 120, 130% lead. I just find it makes this event a lot easier to track and that. But you can use category teams as well. You could just go through, select a bunch of categories and smash them on here. Absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. This is just how I like to do it. So yeah, let's get started, and I'll give you that info on this left there. Let's jump into it now. Okay, so the first fight is Yajirobe. Nothing wild here. No, he can't be stunned. He might evade enemies' attacks, and he does reduce damage received. So you're going to need sealers. Although really on stage 1 here, it's really not going to matter that much. You're going to blast through this with a free-to-play team. Here's the team I used and the info on the left side. Done. Easy. Next up is General Rildo. Even less than the previous fight. He just can't be stunned and reduces damage received. No evasion, so you'll just want to seal him. But again, your free-to-play team will smash this easy. So stage 2 is where it starts ramping up just a little bit, not too much. It's really not that much more difficult, and not a lot of extra stuff being added to the bosses here. Now we've got no attack and defense reduction that can be done to the boss, but he's still just reducing damage received and he can't be stunned, so you want to be attack sealing here where you can. But again, this shouldn't be too difficult. Next up is Pan, and yeah, it's not to sound like a stuck record, but stage 1 and stage 2 are not too difficult. It's really stage 3 where you start getting the higher damage and the problems. But yeah, she's just going to grant immunity to being stunned, so you want to super attack seal if you're worried about this team. She's disabling any attack and defense reduction that can be done to her, and she reduces damage received. But yeah, an all-round pretty easy timer in this one as well. No problem here. We'll go into the boss for stage 2 next. Okay, so Super Saiyan Kaba is the boss for stage 2, and much the same. He's just gonna same immunity to being stunned, attack and defense reduction doesn't work, and your damage is going to be reduced. But there's been some very nice, especially this Frieza you see here in the fight with. He's been a great easier, so he should blast through this, and again, this is fine. So let's move on to stage 3. Okay, so stage 3 is where it starts ramping up a little bit. The bosses are going to hit a bit harder. They can super often. There's a bunch of gimmicks they can have. They can super often. They can going to be dodging a lot more consistently. They can heal. There's a bunch of them that have healing skills. So Gohan doesn't really have too many of these. He's just immune to being stunned. He's going to evade your attacks, which is annoying, and reducing his damage received. So making sure that you're bringing along some form of super attack sealing unit is going to help a lot in this one, just to keep him from constantly supering you. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this one. Just a couple of things I want to point out there. That Texamasu that I've chosen is a fantastic lead. He's 150% lead to any extreme unit, so that's an extra bit of boost as well. And the Android 17 and 18 tech unit, they are fantastic because once they come around, you can pop their active and just skip a whole turn. So that's some free damage there as well. So yeah, as well as the I brought the tech hit, so that he can do some sealing. Okay, so moving on to Majin Buu Good. He is going to be a bit more irritating, especially because of his recovery of HP skill. There are a couple of them at this stage. It's not going to help having any sealers on your team because that skill doesn't count as a super attack, so it's not going to block it. He's going to be evading, he's going to reduce your damage received. So what you really want to do here is you want to bring at least 2 units that are going to stun. You want to keep him stunned, otherwise he's just going to be recovering the whole time and whittling you down. So I brought Jacko and I brought Fit Buu there as well. Fit Buu with a great chance to stun, and Jacko, I think it is a guaranteed chance to stun or a very high chance to stun, and he dodges. So you can have them, if you can bring them on 2 rotations, you can just constantly stun him. And yeah, you want to make sure you've got stunning units for this fight, so that you can, especially if any other fights with health recovery, with HP recovery, stun them so they can't do it, and then you can just burn them down. Next up we got Super Garlic Jr. So he's got another mechanic now that he introduces. So he's got his damage reduction. He's also going to be recovering HP just like Buu, as well as now he's going to seal one of your units. So every turn a unit will be randomly chosen, and that unit won't be able to super for that turn. So just watch out you don't get caught out on this if you are relying on that unit to maybe super to raise their defense so they can survive. They won't be supering, so you're gonna have to baby them a little bit. And yeah, that's his most annoying gimmick that he has, but he doesn't have any. He can be stunned and he can be super attack sealed. So again, you want to bring stunners on this on this one, and you want to bring super attack sealers, so he can then pretty much just do nothing and you can just whittle away his health. For this one, I actually just kind of went for a Universal Survival Saga team. I saw that I had actually messed up one of the previous runs, and I think I'd run my super team against a super enemy, so I just quickly, one of the teams that I'd put there as an extra team, I had Universal Survival Saga. So this was a very, very easy one. Obviously that's nearly like 220% is coming from the Vegeta, and then it's like 200% from the tech UI, so this team pretty much blasted through here. So maybe having some category teams around as well, just for if you make a mistake or something goes wrong like that. You can add the category team around that you can whip out and just blast through something like this. But yeah, all in all, as long as you are stunning and super attack sealing, not too much of a problem here. You just need to watch out for him blasting you, any of your units that didn't get to super. Next we have Majin Buu, Pure Evil. So he's just going to be evading, reducing your damage that you do to him, as well as recovering HP. So you're going to want to make sure that you are stunning him to stop his HP recovery skill, which is going to be super annoying. So not a ton else to this one, very similar to the other Buu that we were fighting against. You just want to stop this HP recovery, which can make this fight drag on forever. Otherwise, yeah, you can just make sure you stun him and you'll be great. Okay, so moving on to the Stage 3 final boss, Metal Cooler. He's a pain in the ass. I did make a bit of a boo-boo with the recording in that here. I completely forgot to actually screenshot the teams I used to kill him. So I'm going to quickly show you those teams just as 3 separate video clips. I did have to use 3 teams because my teams just, yeah, I got unlucky, I got supered. He can super you so many times, like 4 or 5 times in one run. So you need to make sure that you are stunning him. That is what's going to help, stunning him, sealing him. So make sure you've got stunners that can do a 2-turn stun, that can guaranteed stuns, 2 or 3 stunners honestly, and then try pack them with stunning and with super attack sealing. That is going to be the only way to save you. Otherwise he can literally just hit you with 3 super attacks right off the rip and obliterate you before any unit has any chance to build up. So it's gonna be a little bit of RNG. You can just, like I said, get supered right off the beginning and then there's nothing you can do, you just die. So it does help that hopefully you haven't had to use any extra teams in the previous, and now you just bust out team after team, make as many as you can, and I will show you quickly. I've been showing you the 3 teams that I used, and then I'll show you the run. I might speed it up a little bit so it's not 15 minutes because I did take a little bit longer, but yeah, this is what I did. So unfortunately here, Cooler just decides to absolutely obliterate Gogeta. And yeah, we don't survive that. So on to the next team quickly. Okay, so the next team is on the left there. You can see I just went for Earth Protecting Heroes / Successors. I went for the 2 new anniversary units. Unfortunately, I didn't really have too many options, and I had to bring along that the Angel, Goku, and Vegeta that go into Gogeta, and they just really don't hold up in this fight. I think they get supered and get destroyed. I think it would have been a normal, would have been fine, and thought we were good here because these guys, the gods, were just putting up numbers. I think they supered like 5 times. So I was like, great, we're gonna be good. So his defensive powerhouse, and then second slot tanks just fine, and then yeah, unfortunately at the end there I think we get supered and destroyed. So on to the 3rd team here. Okay, so on to the 3rd and final team. I luckily had just enough units to make a Majin Buu Saga team, and then I threw God Goku on at the end there because it was a movie boss, so he'd have 77% damage reduction anyway. Plus he's a sealer, and yeah, he just had to fill. There's some pretty dodgy units on this team, and I was luckily I didn't get Majin Buu and Babidi in first rotation. That would have been probably a death sentence, and then that that other little Gogeta there, that old Gogeta, this one I'm looking at now, Super Saiyan Gotenks, sorry, not Gogeta, Gotenks, he probably would get destroyed, but this is where the stunning came in clutch. So if you see here the Super Buu, this one, STR Super Buu and the Kid Buu, not Super Buu, STR Kid Buu manages to get a stun off, which is just clutch. It gives us 2 free turns of no attacking, so that's why bringing stunners is definitely your best bet. See, he attacks. I mean, he's a fantastic unit anyway, 70% damage reduction as long as you've got other Majin Buu Saga units on the team, and he can hit like a truck if he's got the right link set up, which he doesn't really here, so he doesn't do a ton of damage, but there's the stun. Doesn't matter, that's all he needed to do, and then Gotenks, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks fills it out for us and finishes it up for us. Such a good unit as well. I actually spent he's what I got for my 10th year Shenron Stone, or was it Piranga Stone? Yeah, he was such a good pick, and he's been so clutch, and yeah, he does a massive amount of damage, and then we have 2 turns of pretty much he's stunned, so we just finish him up that way. So yeah, I hope this video has helped. It's been a lot of fun to make, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. I'll leave you with the rest of the run so you can see I did actually finish it. Peace, cheers.